But then you have all of our members answering these mundane questions that are asked over and over and over and over, when you can just throw an FAQ page up and have it answered for everybody automatically. So anyway, the point is this was actually pretty beneficial for some people. People loved the fast answers in the Telegram, but then people didn't love the 2 or 3 hours a day they were spending in it, right? So we had to have a balance. So we just moved everything over to a Facebook group. And then we had a member who was kind of frustrated a little bit, saying, "Oh, it took up to 24 hours to get my question answered in the Telegram chat, or not, or in the new Facebook group." And then and first of all, I'll just throw out there, that must have been an exaggerated number because I actually am one of the people who answer a lot of the questions in our Facebook group. And I'll tell you, usually the average, it's like approved within a couple hours and answered shortly after. So that's the typical. But this person said it took up to 24 hours for hers. It was probably a harder question or whatever it may be, right? But that was not the normal. But anyway, so I went on and did a little investigation, and I knew this concept, and this tip is gonna help you literally in anything you ever do or any community you ever join. You will get so much more out of this group or out of the community that you're joining than any other tip that I can give you. And so I did some investigation, and I found that this person, they only ever asked questions in the group. I never seen them in the group answering questions. I don't see them on our Zooms. I don't see them anywhere in the community. And so I thought about that for a second, and I remember a story. I went to an event probably in 2013. I applied to be a part of a coaching program, and I remember the trainer. He got on this table. We all had to pay like a refundable $100 deposit or something, and he literally put everybody on a table who was applying for this coaching deal, and he asked everyone before he accepted you into the coaching program. And we're talking, you're going to pay a hefty amount to be a part of this coaching program, but he was not going to accept everybody. He was filtering people based on a couple questions. And one of the questions he asked, and I know I'll never forget this, is he asked, "What are you going to do to contribute to this community, to this coaching community?" He literally asked that right before you could even pay your money to be in the coaching program. He asked that question. And so everybody was kind of selling themselves like, "Hey, I know this thing, I know this, I know that." And I did the same thing. I'll be there to answer questions, I'll help people out, whatever it may be, whatever the answer is. I actually don't even remember what I said. Right. But all I know is I remember that question, and it really deeply impacted me because I knew that what I was doing was right, because I did that like every community I was ever a part of, even before that. It just, I didn't realize it, but I would go in the group and I would answer questions, even when they weren't my communities. I was a part of people's teams. I remember I was in a network marketing company, and the number one income earner in that company, I was in his group. And I remember people would have that question, and I would go in the group and I answered the questions as they came in with no expectation of anything. I wasn't selling anything. I wasn't trying to recruit people into other programs. I literally was just there as a helpful servant to his team. It wasn't even my team. Like, I had like 5 people on my team or something. I don't remember how many I had on that in that company. Literally, I had probably 5 people on my team in that company, and I was answering like a group with thousands of people in there, and they would have a question about something, and I would answer it if I knew it. And I was in there, and I was constantly in there. And then I went to an event one year, and I remember this trainer, he came up to me later and he said, we met at this event. He's like, "Mike, I just want to let you know, I really, truly appreciate you answering all those questions for me. Like that saved so much time. And he said he appreciated me for doing that. And I was just like, I felt good about that. Right. And so here's how you get fast answers. If you want fast answers from a Facebook group, then you should be in the Facebook group giving fast answers. Does that make sense? Like, you should be, if you see something that you know the answer to, answer it immediately. Put Facebook group on like a bookmark. Check it every day. Read people's comments, answer people's questions. Be a servant of the community you are a part of. Instead of thinking, hey, how come my questions are not being answered fast? Think of, how can I go into this community, be a resource, answer people's questions fast, and I promise you, if you do that, your questions will also be answered faster. The things that you want will also come to you faster. And if you could just be a servant of that community versus just taking from the community, think about how that looks on the outside too. Also, one of the comments that this person made was, her team is getting lower and lower. Like, people are canceling or going away, and I'm just like, imagine if your team saw you in the groups answering questions, plugging in on the masterminds, coming out on the call, coming out on video and sharing insight, and then going in the groups and answering the questions and being there, and not pitching other things, not selling other things, not recruiting people into other things, from a 100% servant leadership. Like, I think of Amy, Amy Star Allen in our community. She does this amazing. She's hosts some of the masterminds we do. She plugs in. She's there on the masterminds. She gives her feedback. She answers questions when she has the answer and someone hasn't answered it first, right? She's involved in the community and being a servant to the community. And that people want to see that, right? People love that. And there's a whole bunch of other names I can throw out there. I know Jim answers a lot of questions super quickly. Jim Hall. I'm in there in the group as well. Like, I go in my own groups, and like I said, I'm probably the number one resource when it comes to knowing how long it takes to answer someone in the group, because I'm monitoring that, right? And it usually takes a couple hours. Yeah, it's not instant, but it's there. It's a resource. And also, another thing I love to think about is, anytime you criticize anything, it's a negative towards that thing, and you're just gonna keep on building up on that negativity over and over time. You're just not going to even plug in anymore, right? So instead of looking at it as a criticism, I would look at it as like, wow, I got my question answered in 24 hours. That is amazing. Right? I'm so glad. I'm so thankful that I got my question answered in 24 hours. Right? Instead of, oh, I used to get it answered in 1 second. Now it's getting answered in 24 hours. That's the negative side of things. You want to flip it to the positive, right? And think of it as a positive, because to me, getting an answer to your question in 24 hours, even though it's typically around 2 hours, right? Even the 24 hours is still good, right? There's companies that don't answer for 24 to 48 hours, right? So anyway, I just wanted to mention that, you want more out of the communities that you're a part of, then I think it's important to be a servant leader in those communities yourself, and then you will get way more out of it. So anyway, if you got value from today, let me know in the chat. If you want more resources, marketing resources, pretty cool stuff that you can plug into, I will share my screen real quick and share with you where you can go to do that. You can go over to seekprosperity.com. It's going to pull open a page like this. And you can grab 21 video ideas you can use right now to generate more leads, 5G marketing plan checklist, or you can check out our residual income vehicle, our #1 pick for 2023 and beyond. And also other cool marketing materials if you want to go through that. So anyway, go over to seekprosperity.com for that resource. And I'm going to go to questions or comments in the chat. So we got Bill in the house. Good morning. Bill got lost. Thank you for great advice. There's so many communities that serve. Yes. Thank you, Bill. You're exactly right. Be back in life what you give out. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story is, what are you giving? Right? What are you giving versus taking from the community that you're a part of? And that's always huge. Love this, Mike. Thank you, Bill. All right. Well, that's it, my friends. Thank you so much. Again, if you want some cool marketing resources, go to seekprosperity.com. Make it a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.